Hi, church family. Midweek encouragement, December 3rd, 2020. And a few things real quick prior to the encouragement. Number one, this Saturday night, December 5th, from 4 to 7, is our town's Christmas tree lighting. I'd encourage you to be there. Secondly, this Sunday night at 6 p.m. here at the church is a concert of prayer for one of our missionary families. I encourage you strongly to be there. Now to the encouragement. COVID. As I think about COVID and COVID's effects, what I realize is there's something greater that is happening with the whole COVID situation and its results. And this is what's greater. It's not so much what COVID is doing to people, what it's doing to societies. What seems to be more prevalent as I think about COVID is that COVID is this amazing tool for revealing things about society, revealing things about individuals. And that's sometimes a difficult thing because we don't tend to be people that really do a very good job looking in the mirror or looking inside. But when we come into difficulties like this season, we have things revealed about ourselves. And I just want to share the one big thing that God is revealing in me through this COVID season, and it's this. Bill, you're not good at, or Bill, you are not tender-hearted towards people who are hard-hearted. Bill, you're not tender-hearted towards people who are hard-hearted. And that has been a big owie that I've seen revealed in my heart. And so I wanted to just articulate what that means, and more specifically, how I'm, by God's help, trying to fight that temptation. And so one of the ways, and I'm just going to give a few here, one of the ways to be more tender-hearted towards a hard-hearted person as I'm in conversations or dealing with them is one, just to be a good listener. Jesus' brother said, be slow to speak, or actually said, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because the anger of mankind does not bring about the righteous fruit that God desires in his children. And so I see a lot of anger, and I think, well, maybe that's because we're not listening very well. So be a good listener. How important that is, especially when I'm talking to somebody that isn't a good listener. It's even more important for me to listen. Secondly is to be a good judger, to judge well. And this is a concept where it's so misunderstood. The reality of judgment is we always are making judgments about other people, just we don't oftentimes articulate them. And for Christians, we actually are called as brothers and sisters in Jesus within the framework of our loving Christian family to judge one another. You know, this ironing, sharpening iron. We need to be able to see things in others within the family of God and point them out. That's how we grow. We don't grow if we don't see the blind spots that come our way. And so, with that being said, we have to be good judgers. And one thing I know about judging, and this would be outside of the church, is that we really are terrible at truly judging accurately because we cannot possibly see what is underneath the surface of a person's life, nor can we see the totality of their whole Christian experience. They have experiences that have shaped the way they feel. Sometimes those experiences are rooted in their childhood, and other times those experiences are more fresh. And so, in being tender-hearted towards someone who I deem as hard-hearted, that's unwilling to try to see my perspective or others' perspectives, I need to be a good judger and understand that there's probably a lot more going on in that person's life than I can see. And most likely, the anger that may be projected towards me really probably has very little to do with me or my position. It's not really about me. It's about something in their own heart. And as a man that is trying to be conformed to the image of Christ, I should care more about that person's heart and the real issues than I do about trying to win some argument or overcome their hard-heartedness. I need to judge well, fairly, kindly, with the understanding that, you know what they're angry about probably isn't what I'm seeing. And then the last thing I'd say, be a good listener, be a good a fair judger, and then be a good mirror looker. Be a good mirror looker. And what I mean by that is there's a very good chance that for all of us, a year from now, 5 years from now, we will look back on this season of time, and for all of us, we will see where we have been wrong about the situation. We frankly don't have the truth buttoned up. And I don't know if you've had situations like that in your life where you were dead set on a conviction and then it turned out to be wrong. I'll give you a silly example. I had my cat food disappearing from my front porch. I was quite sure it was the renter who moved in across the street because he had this dog, and it wasn't the renter eating, it was his dog that was eating my cat food. And that dog would harass our chickens. I didn't like my kids being out at the time. They were young with this dog out. This dog was a pain in the neck. And so I was starting to get frustrated. So much so that I didn't want to come to blows with my neighbor, but I wanted to prove that his stinking dog was eating my cat food so I'd have evidence to go stick it in his face. And so I put up a game cam, the one I would use for hunting. And I put up this game cam, and what I found was that as soon as I put it up, within 2 minutes of me putting it up and going inside my house, a family of 5 raccoons jumped up on my porch and completely consumed my cat food. And so I was dead set, I was sure that it was his dog, and I was letting it affect my view of him and his poor puppy dog negatively. And it almost caused me to do something that would ruin my potential witness or my relationship with him. And guess what? I was wrong. And honestly, that's going to happen with every one of us as it relates to certain issues in politics, certain issues related to COVID, probably certain issues related to our faith, our beliefs. And so it is important for me to recognize that in my desire to be tender-hearted towards a hard-hearted person, there's a good chance that there's some hard-heartedness in me. And so I have to be a good mirror looker in order to become a person who's more tender-hearted towards a hard-hearted person. So I don't know what God's revealing in you. I do challenge you to take your focus off of everybody else, to spend some time alone with the Lord, with everything off, and ask Him to reveal to you what you need to have revealed in this season of time. Important for all of us. I love you, my church family, and thank you for being you, and I'm excited for how the Lord is moving us forward in this very joyous trial. All right. Bye-bye.